Do I have some? I do it now? Okay.
We finally got her in jeans. She used to wear a June Cleaver dress every week.
I did. I used to get all packed up, and then I went, he wears jeans. I ain't wearing jeans. He wants some
I can't tuck my shirt in, I'm too fat. Have you ever gotten it? You know what this is? This is chocolate. I can't eat without spilling fruit in it. My wife will see me come in the house. She'll go, oh, I see you had a backyard burger and a...
Stay with us. Well, you know, Jeff's a pretty funny guy, isn't he, guys? You even have to wonder what his purpose is, what he's called to do. Can you get it? What is he called to do? Scream it. Was he supposed to be up here? Yeah, he's about making people laugh, right? You get that? You think he's a little bit of a messenger? Doesn't he use tragedy to make sense of the hurt, the depth of real anguish? You know, and you always say what?
Woody Allen said, comedy was tragedy plus time. If you've got time to heal from the wound in your life, you should find humor. And my favorite story, when my mom passed away, very close. She was the center of our entire family. Nobody called it. Siblings didn't talk really much. We just called mom, find out what the other siblings were doing. And when she passed away, my sisters lost their best friend. And it took them a while. It took Vicki and Lori a while. And then we were at a couple years, I guess, and we're at my nephew's wedding. And I figured, again, that little voice, God, it's time. So we're getting a picture taken. And I lean over to my sister before the photographer, and I said, I want you to know, remember when mom was in hospice? She slipped into a coma, and we all went in to say our goodbyes. And mom told me I was her favorite. And the picture of my sister just...
Yeah, but there's that thing you always say as well, I can laugh about it now.
I can laugh about it now.
You know, isn't that funny? Yeah, it is. There's a lot of truth to it, though. Time does heal some wounds, but also there's a lot more to just time. You gotta have good partners in life. Tammy did she?
No, she didn't. No, she showed me grace. That night that we were on our way to the courthouse, and she said, pull the car over. I had finally let go a year and a half. Finally. Got the papers filled out, notarized. And 10 minutes before filing, she said, let's go home. And years later, when I read about a God of grace, that's the moment I went back to, because there was no earthly reason why. Because my response to that was, if we go home, you're in for the long haul. You know what you got this time. We didn't have a relationship prior to getting married. We lived our relationship for 9 years. Broken people and trying to raise a couple of kids. So I said, you know what you got. So yeah, I don't look at that. There's nights I look at her laying in bed next to me, and I just get, and I look at her laying there with her mouth open and drool. Oh baby, wow.
Top of those night sweats. Right? Yeah, those night sweats are good. You know, one of the things that we wish for as we go out and practice doing this tour with many other communities across the U.S. is that we want you to walk out knowing to pay it forward. So you're not just sitting there getting entertained tonight. You realize that. You're being called to also pay it forward. You know, Jeff will be here and Jeff will come back, and we had a ball tonight, right? You laughed good and hard, right? Yeah. I know.
I gotta tell you, if I was a young man at a club and I heard that in the back, I would have been stalking.
It's a little reminiscent, I think, maybe.
I know, you did, didn't you?
That's great.
She obviously didn't go out for your acumen in academics.
Oh, this is the one. This is the one. But you know, all of us get to go, it's more than making people laugh is what we're leaving you with, but to pay it forward. What can you do today? What can you do tomorrow to share your time, your treasure, your talent? That we can all make this world a better place. Can we not? Yeah. And there's gifted people like Jeff and giving a great message, and I get to work for a great company that says, yes, we're gonna invest in that. We're gonna go bring that across the U.S. Now that's something pretty cool to get to do. But in my everyday life, all I want to do is pay it forward. You know, it's silly stuff. $5 at Starbucks, you know, pick up the guy's coffee behind him. You know, he goes home to his wife that night and he's like, this person bought me coffee. You know, like that. And it's not always money, is it? You know, right? It's your time.
Yeah, you know, I don't have a lot of, I was telling Mary when we were hooking up 7 months ago about this whole thing, and I was kind of surprised that a major corporation would want to get involved.
Oh, well, you know, we fed ourselves.
I got problems. And I told her, I said, I don't have a skill set. And she said, what do you mean? Well, outside I'm making people laugh. I go, I really kind of come up short. I mean, Tammy will tell you. I mean, it's just, I don't, you know, I got to tell you, she was gone, and I decided that I'll mop the floors. We have hardwood floors. So I did it for her. I'm on the mop the floors. She calls me up, and because I was out of town at the time, she goes, you waxed the floors. I go, I did, baby. I waxed them for you. She goes, but you didn't wipe up the dirt underneath the wax. So you've sealed in the dirt now. So I told her, this is why I don't do anything. So when a major corporation like Tribe comes and says, we really like you to use your talents, and I go, well, what's in it for you? I knew what was in it for me. I mean, I know that you know, I get to leave here, but what do you leave behind? That was when I started with churches, when I got on my knees and gave my life to Christ. I was done with comedy. I really was. I couldn't do it anymore. I hated the clubs. I hated what I was doing, everything about it. And I said, if this is what you want me to do, then you take it. You do something with it. And you know, my manager's Jewish, and I said, I want to work churches. Do they hire comedians? He goes, you're asking me? So we were literally the blind leading the blind. And so from all of that came, you know, this, where we're at. And my question to you guys is, what can we do? And we're going to have stuff that you could fill out. What can we do to we have a website,
Yes.
justicegenerosity.com, where it's a community of people that we're trying to hook up as we do these shows that you can go to and find out what you can do with the communities. Similar to food banks and whatever your talent is. I mean, I remember Habitat for Humanity. We had some land, and again, pastor, God bless you, the churches. Whew. I go to my pastor, I go, I got some land donated for Habitat House. He goes, oh, I love Habitat. He says, I'll run it by the committee and see if we can get you to do a concert. Because I want to do a show to raise money for the house, to build a house. And he goes, I love that, we'll do that. So anyway, I don't know, 6-8 months. And he comes to me in the hallway on a Sunday. He goes, I got approval, we'll do the concert. I go, there's people living in the house. He goes, what? I go, come on, are you kidding me? 8 months later? I said, we realize that you guys move a little slow. I didn't know it was that slow. We've already done. The house has been built. There's people living in it, man. You know, so we're building the house. I got a tool belt down. I got a hammer. And my wife walks over to me and she goes, put the hammer down, put the tool belt down. I wouldn't want to live anywhere near a house that's So I picked up trash and made jokes.
Yeah, that works.
That's what I did. I cut up, people laughed. One guy fell off a ladder. So I'm breaking bones.
Well, you know, the answer was easy when you asked the question. What do I have? What do I have? What do I offer? He has his faith. He's authentic. He's generous. And he lives his word. And he lives it with the grace of God. Amen? Yes. And that is why I was intrigued to form this partnership. That is why sending a message out there for all of us to go out and pay it forward. That we're not just bystanders in this life experience, waiting for others to do for us, but we can actually be called to give our time and our treasure and our talent and share it abundantly, the way God called us to. All right. Who's got a couple questions about, like to know a couple things about Jeff, and you can ask him anything. Anybody got any questions for Jeff? Anybody want to ask? Yeah. Oh.
That is one of the most often asked questions that I get. And I will leave you with this.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'll give you an idea. First of all, people ask, is your wife aware of the way you talk about it? No. never seen